this month we are focused on public lands, and we have a great lineup. And as you've seen before and coming since, we have someone that is awesome today. We have one of our state park rangers, a naturalist for Antelope Island State Park, and her name is Trish Ackley. She knows a ton of stuff, and we are really excited to have her today.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I hope I can live up to that high praise. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Trish. I am the park naturalist out of Antelope Island, which is just a fancy word for a park ranger who specializes in connecting with the public and making connections between the resources that we have to offer and that we're here protecting with the visitors who are coming to see those things. So I'm a park ranger who does a lot of programming and outreach and things like that. So thank you so much for having me for this presentation. I am at Antelope Island State Park, which is one of 46 state parks in the state of Utah. We are so lucky. And if we take into the big picture of public lands in Utah, we're so lucky. 70% of the state of Utah is public lands. Now we have state parks, which manage, a group of them, 46 of us. But then you have the Bureau of Land Management, the National Forest Service, National Park Service, all managing these amazing outdoor and cultural resource centers. So we're quite fortunate. I can speak to what I know, and that is Antelope Island State Park. And we are here to really preserve the natural resource. That's wildlife and sticks and trees and cultural resources with our historic Fielding Gar Ranch area. And that's just one of many, many historic sites on the park. So I hope you come check those out. We manage for recreation as well with 60 miles of hiking trails. And on those trails, you can hike, you can bike, you can e-bike. That's more my speed. Horseback ride. I can take you on a kayak tour of Great Salt Lake, or you can go and recreate on the lake on your own if you have a sailboat or stand-up paddleboard or whatnot. Really, really great lake access. So we're quite fortunate. We have such a diverse charge of things that we manage for. And wildlife management. We have so many different species of birds, over 300 different species of birds, and large mammals like the bison, pronghorn, bighorn sheep, mule deer, coyotes and badgers, and all kinds of fun wildlife on the park that we're in charge of taking care of, protecting, and also making them available for our visitors to really enjoy. What my role is at Antelope Island is, again, making those resources available to you. And that is with programming. So ranger talks. If you've ever attended a ranger talk at a park or at a campground, that was done by the park naturalist or park ranger that specializes in that outreach. We do a lot of activities, guided hikes, guided kayak tours. We are an international dark sky park, which means we offer an exceptional quality of nocturnal environment. So we've done a lot of work and worked with a lot of partners and community agencies to protect the dark sky and do what we can to reduce light pollution over the park so that we can see the Milky Way. If you haven't come out for a star party, it's a lot of fun. The first party is in April, so put that on your calendar. I also do a lot of outreach electronically in way of social media, advertising. I manage our website, so a lot of resource information is available there. If you have questions about bison or a horned lark or a burrowing owl, you can pop over to our website and find a lot of information there. One last thought is that Utah State Parks especially are here for you, for the citizens of the great state of Utah. And we love seeing local families out at the park. We love the tour buses and things like that as well. But when we see folks from our county or neighboring counties in the state coming out to visit the park with their families and they're going for hikes, it makes it worthwhile. It reaffirms why we're doing this. We are here for the folks of the state of Utah. So I hope that you will explore other parks. It's such a diverse agency. We have Antelope Island is kind of all-encompassing. We are the best state park in the system. We have the recreation, we have the wildlife, we have the cultural resources in the museum, we have night sky resources. So it's amazing. But if you are used to spending all your time in state parks at a certain park, a boating park, or a museum that's nearby you, I hope that you'll explore others. There's so much diversity and so much just exciting history and culture and amazing nature in our state that's managed by this agency. So get out and explore. And I hope to see you on the island soon.
Thank you, Trish. That was wonderful. And I had no idea that there were 46, you said, state parks?
We've added a couple recently.
Okay.
Lost Creek State Park and Utah Raptor State Park, I believe, are our newest. And then Echo State Park was fairly recent add as well. So we're growing.
And that sounds so cool. Like anything Raptor State Park just sounds like I need to go find a map now just to find out where all these are because hidden gems to say the least. And so
Absolutely.
thank you for giving the encouragement to go out. Do you have some time for some questions? We have some from the community.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, we have these submitted early and we have them on our website for leading up to our presentation. So if you ever want to see what's upcoming in our future seasons, just go to the Salt Lake County Library website and in the search bar, if it's not automatically available, just type in Let's Be Neighbors. It'll take you there so you can submit questions. So these are some of the ones from you guys. And let's see how many we can get to because there were quite a few. What are the main benefits of preserving and protecting public lands?
I love this. There are so many main benefits. It's yours. And so, of course, we need to protect and preserve what's ours, right? Keeping it clean, keeping it protected, and also making it available, keeping it accessible. If you have a natural area that's just getting run down and degraded, it's going to face more regulations, and we don't want that. So that's why it's up to all of us to keep them protected and keep them open for us.
Excellent. Let's see, next one. How can individuals and communities get involved in advocating for protecting and conserving public lands? And you can speak for Antelope Island specifically if you want.
Sure. Get involved, and that can be as easy as visiting your park. A lot of folks I hear it several times a day. I've lived here my whole life, and I've never been over here. It's yours. Come see us. It's your part, and how are you going to know if I'm doing a good job if you don't come see us? It's my job to take care of your public land for you. So spend time in your parks and other public lands. Just be there so that you can kind of see the pulse of change. And by doing that, you're educating yourself and you're becoming informed so that if you don't like what I'm doing to manage your public land, you can speak up and get change made. So those two things, starting with just enjoying your natural spaces and getting to know it.
Awesome, thank you. Actually, so this kind of leads into another question. If public land is public, why do I need to pay fees to get in?
Very good question. Managing, I can only speak for Antelope Island, because that's the only agency, the only park I'm really familiar with. It's expensive. It is expensive. Asphalt is expensive. Um, Even just maintaining our water system to keep the water safe for you to drink and shower in, it costs money. And so that's how we run our parks, is with the user fees. So the day use fees and the camping fees is what helps maintain our facilities, keeping the light on, and keeping them up. Yeah.
And this is just a side personal question is I've been out to Antelope Island a couple times. Should go more, so thank you for the advocation. How long is the causeway? Because you're mentioning asphalt. I just remember driving forever to get to Antelope Island.
Ah, the asphalt, or excuse me, the causeway is 7 miles long. And we're really fortunate with that causeway because it's hidden in the user fee. So you don't realize it, but that is a toll road. And that $2 of your entrance fee into Antelope Island goes back to Davis County to take care of that road. So it is the best road on the park. They manage it, they plow it for us, they fix the potholes. It's a really great road, but yeah,
Worth
I
the
know.
$2.
Yes, yes.
All right, let's see. I think we'll do a couple more. Can you share any interesting stories or case studies that highlight the importance of public lands? Like anything that's personally that you've seen through Antelope Island? Or just interesting stories in general?
I speaking for Antelope Island specifically, the best part of my job is getting someone really intimately connected with a resource, putting them in a kayak on a boat during sunset. It's almost an emotional experience. And I think without the agency, I mean, anybody can rent a kayak, go out on a lake, enjoy the sunset. But without an agency really doing the footwork to make that accessible by having the boat available, by, giving you instruction if you've never been or seen a kayak before, it's just not accessible for a lot of people. And that hits me. That's what I go home at night thinking, this is worth it. This is why I love my job. I'm creating those really powerful experiences for people who wouldn't otherwise have the ability to. On a personal level, growing up and having access not only to state parks, but to public lands, to Forest Service, national parks, wild spaces, for me growing up was so important. We didn't have resources to go to Disneyland or go travel or go, on cruises. But we could go to public lands, and that's what we did. And it was the best experience I've ever had. I wouldn't change it. So do that for yourself. Get out in the public lands. We're here. We're here for you.
Thank you, Trish. All right. I guess 2.5 questions because you've already answered one of my final questions. But last one from the community is, how do public lands contribute to biodiversity and the preservation of wildlife habitats? As a naturalist, I thought that might be a particularly good one for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, for me, it's interpretation, making it available, education, getting people connected to the thing. Great Salt Lake has been in the news lately, and there's a lot of really important creatures in Great Salt Lake, and if we lose them, the ecosystem will collapse. So getting those people out on the boat, and into the water to see these little crustaceans floating around and to see the brine flies that are feeding billions of birds, it's that experience again, right? And we're creating opportunities for people to have access to these species that without without some help are going to go away, and that's not good for any of us.
Thank you. And then one of my last questions usually is Let's Be Neighbors is very important about action items after we learn about something like something that the community can do. But you seem to have already answered at least a two-part one where it's get out and see. And if you've never been to one, go to another one. Or just see your public land either in a new way or for the first time. And then by proxy from that, you get informed. So if you don't like something, you can change it. And so if you want to follow up or continue with that, or if there's another thing they can do, just something to get engaged with public lands.
Yeah. I did speak about, visit your public lands, get involved if there's something that you don't like. And that's kind of intimidating. I think a lot of us, when you're talking about speaking with representatives or getting involved with the legislature, it's like, ooh, where do I start with that? It could be stopping your friendly park ranger on the road and saying, hey, I noticed this really big pothole. What are you doing about it? We are a small staff, and we've got 28,000 acres of public land on Antelope Island to manage, and we don't see all things all the time. So if you notice, especially an invasive plant, it's very possible we haven't seen it yet. So even on a very small local level, make sure that you're talking to the staff in your public land agency if you see something that you don't like, or something that we're doing well, that you really like and you want us to do more of. Let us know.
Okay, thank you, Trish. Final question is, or basically, do you have any concluding thoughts before we wrap up our conversation today?
Oh no, I'm so excited to have this platform. Thank you so much for having me on. And I hope that we see you all at Antelope Island. And if you're big fans of Antelope Island, I love that. But I hope you'll go see, I don't know, Camp Floyd State Park and Museum, or East Canyon if you've never been up there.
Raptor State Park. Sorry.
Yeah, Utah Raptor State Park. There's so much just diversity out there. So get your list of 46 parks and just start checking them off, because you're gonna find a lot of really cool stuff in our state.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trish. It's been a delight having you on here today. Thank you so much for taking the time and coming out and talking with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you so much.